Hello and welcome to Yoga with Megan. I've got my buddy Bodhi here today because we're talking about a bit of a more sensitive and intimate topic today, but I'd like to keep it lighthearted. Pelvic floor, pelvic diaphragm. I'm going to be doing my annual workshop this weekend on pelvic floor health for women, and one of my goals is to get this out there, how important it is to understand and appreciate the role of the pelvic floor as muscles. So go ahead and say it to yourself a few times, pelvic floor, pelvic floor. I'll be putting some pictures up to show you what pelvic floor looks like as well. But there's two parts to this. The first part is going to be about finding where your pelvic floor is. So before we can heal it, fix it, whatever terms you want to use, and it may be a matter of strengthening it or relaxing it, and that's something we can get into. We can have a hypertonic pelvic floor, which means that it's too tight and it causes discomfort, and that is more of a incontinence that would happen because you have a frequency to go, all of a sudden you gotta go. There's certain things with hypertonic versus a hypotonic pelvic floor, which is what most people get treated for or think they have, which is when the pelvic floor muscles are weak. Totally different type of incontinence. That's stress incontinence. So if you sneeze or laugh or cough or you pick up something heavy, you may have leakage, right? So very common in women, particularly after childbirthing. Also common, very common in high endurance athletes, particularly women. We see it a lot in CrossFit, runners, those kinds of things. So pelvic floor dysfunction is not only for those that are not active. We're seeing more and more of it in very active women. So if that's you, stay tuned. We're going to learn how to feel or to experience our pelvic floor on from the felt sense, right? So I'm going to pull in Mr. Bones to show you what some of the relationship is and the pelvic floor moving. But and then we'll finish with a meditation. But this is really about you finding that space in your body and holding awareness there, because in the energy system, it's your Muladhara, your root chakra. So it's our space of, we would say even the space of safety and security, and it's our grounding area, what grounds us to the energy of the earth. And in addition to that, it's where we begin to feel our feminine energy. So what I'm going to ask you to get is probably a blanket. You're going to want a blanket underneath you at some point. You need a ball, and I highly recommend a softer ball. Definitely nothing like a golf ball. Tennis ball would be a little hard, but this is a soft pink ball. If you can find something soft, wool dryer balls work really well if you have those in your house. It's just something we can feel. And then you're going to need 2 blocks. Okay, so if you've got some blocks, grab those. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is about finding it and feeling it. You can't heal what you don't know you can feel. So if you just come into a seated position and take your legs out in front of you, I just want you to rock back and forth a little bit. Just feel that space from back and forth. And what you're doing is you're rolling through your buttocks, but you're also feeling into your sits bones, your ischial tuberosities. I just like to say that. Ischial tuberosities, and you're rocking back and forth. So I like to think of the pelvic floor, though it's the muscles themselves are more in a U-shaped, or like a more of a U shape, I'll just say. I like to think of that whole area as a diamond shape. So north, south, east, and west. So right now we're finding your east and your west. So the two sides, the right and left, if you want to look at it that way. But the other way we might be able to feel this better, you can continue to keep your legs long, but if you have one of those blocks, or maybe 2 if it's more comfortable for your knees, you're going to sit on a block, slide it right underneath there lengthwise, draw your knees a little bit more towards the center, come onto your shins, so you may have 2 blocks underneath you if that's more comfortable. And I'm just going to do that same thing, rocking back and forth. But now, with that block under there, I have really something to feel into, and I can really sense those sits bones. And you may even close your eyes for a moment as you gently rock back and forth. And think, these are the 2 sides of that pelvic floor diamond, side to side. And just sensing that space. See if you can get that right side and the left side. Okay, so that'll be important when we do our meditation and our imagery, just to be able to feel that left and right side of where the pelvic floor muscles attach. All right, so then I'm going to have you come off the block, and we're going to do another one just to feel those two sides. So we've got the ball. So there's a couple ways you can do this. Like I said, you can just do the rocking. You can do the rocking on the block, or you can use the ball. And I did this quite a bit. I've had 3 children, twins, and had lots of things going on down in my pelvic floor muscles. And it took me some time to get feeling back down there. So this ball I'm going to take and I'm going to put it underneath my right sits bone. So you'll feel it. There will be perhaps a little bit of tenderness because this is where a lot of your muscles attach in. So you want to be cautious and you go really gentle. You'll notice I'm bending my knee. I'll support myself. But I'm just exploring that area with this ball. I like to make sort of a circular fulcrum in that area, and you may want to close your eyes while you're doing this. So just giving yourself the opportunity to be present in this space in your body. And it's just for you, being intimate with yourself and feeling into that space. As intimate as I can be on a YouTube video, trying to give that to you and in a genuine way. And just feeling that right sits bone and exploring. So we have some memory recall of that space in our body, and not what it looks like so much, but what it feels like in that space in your body. All right. And then I will come off of that, take my right leg long. I always like to pause in between and just notice if you can feel a difference in the two sides. Is there more awareness or more sensation in that right side? Does it feel heavier or lighter? We'll do the same thing with the left side. Take that ball and place it right underneath your sits bone, so right to the inner thigh, and you can explore. Sometimes I go to the front of the thigh, I go to the back more towards the buttocks. The pelvic floor muscles will attach to the inside, right? And you're just rolling around. Just to have an awareness of these east and west points. And rolling on that sits bone. My leg stays relaxed, fully aware. All right. And sometimes you might find you have more sensitivity on one side than the other. And you're just noticing without judgment. And then I'm going to take that ball out. Take the leg long. Okay, relax the legs. At this point, if you're more comfortable sitting in a chair, you can. I want you to find the position that's most comfortable for you. I'm going to take my legs crossed and sit on the edge of a blanket. So now we need to find the north and south. To get a little more graphic with the north and south. Because being that I am on a YouTube video, I can only do so much. But you are at home and you get to explore this way. So I'd ask you to close your eyes and begin to take some deeper, fuller breaths in. Feel your breath pull in on the inhalation, and your abdomen, your chest will expand. And then feeling that emptiness as you breathe out. All right, so you're at a dinner party, dressed to the nines, feeling good and confident, and you take this inhalation and you feel you've got to fart. So you don't want to fart in front of your dinner guests. So on your exhalation, imagine trying to stop that fart from happening. Yes. You can let go, take another inhalation, and see if you can imagine stopping yourself from farting. Sorry, it's hard to do this, but that's the best way to feel it. So what you might feel is a clenching around your anus and your glutes, your muscles in your buttocks. And just see if you can sense that. Take a big inhalation, exhale, stop that fart in midstream. And then slowly release that fart. Like everybody left the room, time to let it rip, but slowly. So that's giving you awareness of the back of the pelvic diaphragm. So that back space, what I call it the south side, down low in the back. And see if you can just sense that little bit of tensing or contraction around the anus, because that's right where you're going to be. And then the release. All right, so hopefully that was helpful, though graphic. And now we're moving into the front of the body. So now we need to find the north side, or the front side of the pelvic bowl. So this time, imagine you're at that same party, but it's summertime and you're wearing white pants, and you know that you really have to go to the bathroom, and there's a line for the bathroom. I don't know, I just make these up. So we're going to use it do it to the breath again. Take a big breath in. And then this time as you breathe out, imagine trying to stop yourself from peeing in your pants. Or maybe it's just stopping your urine in mid-flow, which does work well. You can actually do that on the toilet. But practice this inhalation. Feel your breath expand and your body expand as you exhale and your body empties. Draw up through so it's right in the front of the urethra. You'll feel your pubic bone, like you're drawing everything up towards your pubic bone. And if you can feel that, then slowly begin to release it on the inhalation. So that's helping us to find the front or the north side of the pelvic diamond. And just see if you can experience that little bit of lifting and contracting on the exhale towards the front of the pelvis. So now we have some awareness, hopefully, of all 4 of the bony points, or I just like to think of them as those 4 marking points of your pelvic floor diaphragm. In the front, where we were holding our pee-pee. Yes, I'm a yoga therapist. In the back, where we were holding our poo-poo. There we go. And the 2 sides of the sits bones when we were rocking. So that's your diaphragm. That's your pelvic floor diaphragm. So now we're going to work a little bit more specifically with the breath to see if we can feel that movement in those spaces that we just found.